Welcome to my channel. My name is Kimbae. For those of you who don't know, I do run a blog called the Beauty Life Expert. I hope you guys will check it out. I do talk a little bit more about more sexual topics and stuff like that on my blog, but I do want to bring that onto my channel, which I have done. My channel doesn't really have a certain topic or a certain demographic. I pretty much film videos that I just feel fit, and one of those things that I do like to talk about is, you know, self-esteem as well as relationship issues and, you know, sex. So I hope you guys will still subscribe to my channel. I did make a whole video pretty much disclosing that I am going to be talking about that, so I hope you guys have stuck it around for that reason. I hope that doesn't affect you guys and your subscription to me. If you guys do like this video, don't forget to like it and leave a comment. I like to, you know, talk to you guys. I am still starting my channel, so I've been seeing that, you know, I do have a couple of comments trickling here and there. I haven't gained much subscribers since my channel started, but I hope you guys will subscribe to this channel if you guys are watching it. And then just, you know, keep in tune with the stuff that I talk about, which sometimes are out of this world crazy. Today's topic is going to be about being plus size and my relationship with sex, basically. Just want to give my backstory a little bit, and then I want to give some tips and tricks about people who were in the situation that I was in, basically. So just a little bit of backstory. I've always been a bigger girl. If you can't already tell, I am full figured. I am a plus size woman. I'm very proud of my plus sizeness because it took a long time for me to actually feel as confident as I feel now. It's not something that I woke up with, and it's something that I've always dealt with my entire life. Growing up, I've always been the chubbier girl. I've always been bigger than everybody else in the room. Literally, I was always the biggest person in my family, my entire extended family. So it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough, and it really took a big toll on my self-esteem, especially. So when it came to like dating and stuff like that, I was always a little bit self-cautious about that. But when I was younger, I felt like it didn't really affect me as much as it did as my adult years started rolling in. I felt that back when I was in high school, I was kind of naive in a way where I didn't really think about things. I wasn't really into porn or anything like that, so I was pretty confident in myself, honestly. And that's where I pretty much got a little bit more promiscuous, and I was really a little bit more open with my sexuality. Once I hit maybe around 17, which, you know, I pretty much gave a little bit about myself away in my younger years, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to be an open book, and that's just what my channel is about, being open and talking about topics that are important that people don't like to talk about, and people think is so, you know, vulgar and it's just too much, explicit. I don't care. I want to talk about those things, and that's what I feel makes my channel a little bit different than any other channel on YouTube. Everyone on YouTube pretty much just wants to be a little bit more censored in order to not get demonetized or anything like that. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that because my channels are for entertainment purposes. I don't make a living off of my channel, so just keep that in mind. If you guys ever wanted to get advice or anything like that, please reach out to me. I have my email down below. I was gonna do like pretty much giving advice and stuff like that, but first I want to gain your trust, and I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from and a little bit about my backstory. Once you guys get to know me a little bit, feel more confident, then I think that would be a good thing to include into my channel. But for now, let's just get back to what I was talking about. Basically, once I hit like 16 or 17 is when I started to get more curious about sex that didn't include myself, where I was, you know, watching more videos and stuff like that. And what I noticed was like that most of the girls on those videos were so thin. They have beautiful bodies, and the way that their vagina looked, it was so beautiful, like beautiful vaginas, to say the least. And then I started comparing myself. So that's where my insecurities really started to attack me, because I would look at myself in the mirror, literally like all of me. I would look at myself in the mirror and I would be like, why don't I look like that? Is there something wrong with me? So that's when I started to actually, you know, question myself. Like, why don't I look like a certain way? Is that what is desired? Is that the norm? So because I seen like so many, like, you know, when you're curious, you start watching, and then I just seen more and more people, and all of them pretty much look like the same. You know, those big perky boobs, this little waist, big butts, and just like the perfect any vagina, which I'm not saying mine isn't, but just seeing that and comparing myself was really difficult growing up. So that's when I was like more ashamed, and when I was in relationships with people and they would try to like, you know, touch me or anything like that, I'd be like, oh my god, no, they're gonna notice that I don't look like the girls I seen in the video. So I would immediately pull away, and that was so unhealthy. And even though I studied it my entire life, I've been, you know, learning about sexual education, relationships since I was in 9th grade, which was about 14, 15 years old. It's still, and I learned that, you know, things aren't always, and not everyone's the same. It still took a hold on me when I would notice those videos and I would see these people and I would realize that I don't look like that. So even though I was educated, I still did those things. So not everyone, you know, this is something that everyone goes through. It's not something that only I went through, and I didn't even realize that until I was older, because it was so against the rules to talk about these things with, you know, people, other females, you know, growing up Catholic, it's not something that you talk about. But now, I, you know, when I talk to my friends and I see everything, I know that what we see online is a video production. So of course, you know, sometimes these girls have makeup on, they have tons of like, they have money to get these treatments done and stuff like that. So don't think that that is the norm, is the first thing I want to talk about, is that whatever you see online is not the norm. Most of the time these people aren't enjoying themselves, and yeah, it's good to watch, don't get me wrong, it's good to explore your sexuality, why not, right? But for girls that are growing up, if you guys are happen to stumble around this video, I'm sorry that, you know, I'm not a little bit more PG-13, but that's not the norm, and I just want everyone to know that that's not the norm. So me being a little bigger, well, not a little, actually I'm a lot bigger than whatever I see online, I still kind of felt self-conscious. So when I hit 18, all the way until I was like 23, I didn't do anything. You know, I had already lost my virginity at a younger age, but I wasn't as active with my sexual life. I'm writing in the middle of a blog post of how I lived sexless for 5 years, because not only was I trying to discover myself and discover what I want and be more abstinent and, you know, build stronger relationships, I was also self-conscious, and that's something that I do briefly talk about in that video, in that blog post, but it's not something that I elaborate on, and that's something I feel like I need to elaborate on. So that's why I'm filming this video, because, you know, now I'm very open. I've learned what I like, what I don't like. I've learned that, you know, I'm not, one other thing that I do want to talk about, which is, you know, I guess number 2, but another thing that I do want to talk about is that you're not going to be everyone's type. You know, people always, I see people attack guys or anything like that about saying, you know, I don't like big girls, you know, big girls are nasty, and you're not going to be everyone's type. Just like, you know, not everyone is my type. I am pretty accepting, but there's stuff that I don't like that people do, and they're not my type. So I don't get ridiculed for not liking a certain guy, but guys get ridiculed for not liking a certain type of girl. And I think it's not always the fact that they don't like them. It's always it's kind of like their delivery. Where it's like, you know, fat girls are gross, and it's just like, hey, we're just trying to live our life. You know, like, why do we have to be gross? Why do we have to confine to your normality? And that's just something that I've always, that's something that I've struggled with, that I'm starting to learn, is that you're not always going to be everyone's type, and that's okay. When you find someone who likes you for you, and you have, you know, intercourse with them, it's probably going to be the best intercourse of your life. So don't waste your time thinking about the people who don't like you for who you are and what your body is like. You know, find someone who accepts you and loves you just the way you are. Trust me, when you find that person who loves you just the way you are, it's probably the most comforting feeling that I've ever felt in my entire life. Luckily, I found multiple partners who love me just the way I am, and that is a boost of self-esteem. But if you don't have that, it's not the end of the world, you know. It is a long process of just accepting and loving yourself, because I used to think it was bullshit when people would be like, you know, you have to love yourself first, you have to love yourself first. It's really not bullshit. It's actually real. Like, people do need to love themselves first. When you love the way you walk, when you love the style, your clothes, when you love the way you talk, when you love the way you do certain things. You know, I grew to love myself because I'm a powerful young woman and I've been through some shit, and I'm able to pretty much share my experience with you guys. That's what I love about myself, and I am so madly deeply in love with myself that it lets me share myself with other people, but only those who are worth it. So I think that's pretty important. It's a very powerful message that I want to share with you guys, is that, you know, people are going to tell you, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this. And yeah, it's about health. I get it. We all get it. We're tired of hearing it, aren't we? We're tired of hearing, oh, it's for your health, it's for your health. Yeah, you know, so not all of us choose to, you know, live this way, but unfortunately we do, and we're making the best out of it. And one of the things you know, people are like, oh, you know, I don't like to get naked, I don't want people to see my body. I dealt with that. Trust me, I still deal with that sometimes, where I recently had someone that the lights were like blaring on, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I feel so exposed. But that's what you're doing. You know, sex is not just something that you do and get over with and that's it, you move on with your life. It does have some meaning, and of course you can have sex for your fun. Do you, boo-boo, live your best life. But I'm just sharing this video so that you guys can understand that there's certain things that you just have to deal with, and you just learn and you grow from those things, and it's not the end of the world. You're still beautiful, you're still powerful, and if you want to have sex, you don't have to compare yourself to those girls online. You are beautiful in your own way, and once you learn to love your curves and love everything about you, every bump on your thigh, you will make the best love of your life, and you will have the best sex of your life. I hope this video was helpful in some way. I hope it wasn't too vulgar. I hope it wasn't too XXX for you guys. I hope you guys take some information out of this video. I am trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter, but if you guys want to hear more about these topics, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will definitely talk more about this in particular. I do have other videos coming up soon that I think you guys will also enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!